Hello world, this is Kevin Pascal and you're tuned into the Hinted Neuron podcast. On today's episode, you hear me speak with Busayo. Busayo has been a day one fan of the podcast. I traveled to Lagos and I got a chance to sit down with him to discuss. We had a 2-hour, 30 minutes conversation and we talked about finance, relationships, religion, assault, and social media. We talked about a lot of things. There's so much juice in this episode. You actually want to stick around to hear everything. Now, don't forget I'm doing an AMA episode as the last one for this year, but you get to ask me anything. If you want to ask me questions anonymously, want to send me anonymous messages, just simply go to hintedneuron.com/ask. hintedneuron.com/ask. Ask me anything, tell me anything anonymously, so I won't know who you are, so you could feel free to say anything you want to say. Also connect with me on Instagram or Twitter at hintedneuron. Don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, leave a review 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and also share my episodes. And now, here's my conversation with Busayo.
Hello, I'm in Lagos, guys, and today I have Busayo with me here. And I mean, this episode is not a regular one. We're just going to be shit talking, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. This is Christmas season, so there's no formal interviews, it's just talks. That's what you get from me with Busayo, and also one of the episodes I'll be doing with my friend Ajuma. I'm here with Busayo. Busayo is in the building.
Good evening. But it's not all shit talk, I guess.
We'll be talking about really serious things.
So people will think I'm
yeah, they're like serious things we'll be talking about too, and Busayo gave me he brought up series of critiques in some episodes, so we'll probably talk about all these things and talk about some of the things we've been texting about. Yeah, I'm a serial texter, so I don't know.
I think first off, I want to say that you've done a good job.
Yeah, man.
Like coming from episode 1, episode 1 when the sound was bad. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
The sound was bad. Then you grew into better sound quality. Then episode 20, you just listened to it a couple of minutes ago and it sounds really good. I want to say good job for that.
Yeah, I mean, we try though. We try. What can we say, man? I actually invested a lot into audio. Not a lot. Not a lot. I've not invested that much, but I was just trying to. Audio means a big deal because I'm a big podcaster. I'm listening to podcasts in 2014, 2015.
Yes.
I know what good sound sounds. I know what good sound sounds like.
Episode 20 sounds like good sound.
Yeah. Right. But I'm trying to make it a way whereby, because next year, what if we could ship microphones to the people I want to interview, because I want to have more Nigerians on my podcast. That's like one thing I'm working on currently. I don't have much Nigerians.
What about the studio? Do you think about the studio?
For now, I don't think I might really invest
if you come to Lagos. If you come to Lagos, don't you think the studio will be down?
Well, I don't know, but studio costs money. So
somewhere like here, just fit it up, mics and everything, and your
I think if I even have a room of my own, I could set up a studio. All I just need to do is make sure the acoustics is good, like put up thick curtains everywhere, put thick carpets on the floor, and set up a home studio. I think that is really reasonable, but I don't think if I want to rent an apartment, I don't think if I want to rent any apartment right now, I'll be going for something more than 1 bedroom. I hate multiple rooms. I like big space. What's your preference in houses? I like halls, like just one big hall where I could
one giant.
Yeah, just like
space.
I just like big spaces.
Yeah, that's fine.
So currently, I told you guys I'm in Lagos. Yeah, so I just came here. I don't know why I came to Lagos. Okay, I came to Lagos for 2 things. I've done one today, and I came now to meet Busayo to record. That was I think we've been talking about this thing since April.
Since you started
since I started podcast. I think. So, yeah.
We were to do it one time.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 weeks ago, but then
we went MIA.
My exam was. I had my exam on Saturday, So I was preparing for my exam big time before that.
Even what we're supposed to talk about, I talked about it a little with Tobore on the podcast. Because I think that was about, because what's really prompted much of the voice, because we're serial. Busayo sends me podcast as voice notes. Like, this guy will send me like 5 minutes podcast. That is 5 minutes voice note. That's like a podcast. I know people that do 5 minutes podcast. So this guy sends me episodes of podcasts.
I think there was one episode that someone was okay. It was the flat earth guy.
Yes.
That was sounding really smart.
Okay, yeah.
Because of the fact that he knew what he was saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Not necessarily that what he was saying made sense, but he knew it and he believed in it so much that he sounded like he made sense. And I remember going off and saying that you didn't ask the right question.
Yeah.
But you said that you didn't want it to be combative, and I think that's a good way to go. Up to a point, because I'm a very violent person at heart. So I prefer argument. So my personality type is a debater. So I prefer arguments to anything. So when you let someone have the last word or something you have a say against, I don't think it's the right way. I just want you to get your voice out and get your opinion.
Yeah, so first of all, I think one of the rules for flat earthers is for any serious-minded person, don't argue with a flat earther. Just listen. I mean, it was educative in a way. I had lots of DM that day because I had to like be replying people and telling them about how this episode went and why I did it and how, because David was the one that actually reached out to me.
Yeah.
So I checked him out. I was seeing him in the news. I was seeing his personal. I just googled him to know what's okay. He is about flat earth stuff. I mean, this is nice. This is something. Oh, there are people who believe. I know that there are people who believe in flat earth. I've always known them. So wow, this guy is reaching out to me. He wants to have a conversation. Definitely,
it was a good conversation in my opinion. It was very good because one thing about the good podcast is we're here and we're talking about.
Yeah.
So he gave us something to talk about.
Yeah.
Same with the feminism podcast, and that's the only one I've listened to. I haven't listened to the couple recent ones, but we are having a conversation about it. It means that it left an impression in our mind.
Exactly,
and definitely it was a great.
Yeah, you see, my conversation with Ene, I think now that is almost one of my top listening podcasts. I've not really checked, but
it was good.
But I think that podcast really like left impression on many people, a lot of people, because I checked the stats because. I'm even surprised now for long-form content because when I wanted to start long-form content and Nigerians, people message me when I'm uploading these episodes that 40 minutes, 15 minutes, that who has time? And then I understand that from a Nigerian perspective that maybe you don't want to burn your data or you don't have the time or you don't have the patience. You know, people like sound bites and quick trails, like Nigerian audience, but I was really surprised that my content was getting listened like full. People were listening to it fully.
Yes, if it's good enough, people. If the conversation is sound. I want to jump right into finance. How do you manage your finances?
So the thing, I was really serious about my finance, like when I was starting. Like, you know, when I was broke, but when I was still in OAU,
yes,
I was broke in part 2. Just part 3, I feel I started getting gigs.
When did we meet? Part 2?
Yeah, we met in part 2.
When you went part 2?
Yes, so I was broke. In fact, I used to come to your room to ask that guy Ata for like, dude, what's up? Hook me up with something or anything, but like because I was really broke. But you know, it's those days where you have 500 naira in your account.
Yes.
So you now ask your friend, can you transfer 500 to my account so that we don't So when I think about those days, I'm like, oh wow. Even now, I feel like, okay, I've made something, and I still feel I don't have money. But okay, imagine that when I didn't even have anything to eat.
When I was in university, 15,000 was enough for 1 month. Poly.
So now,
so good.
So I used to like do my finance like then because of anything. I like try to calculate. I used to feel like I'm this person. Even when I started getting money, I used to do my finance, know everything. But now, now money just like when money comes in and I'm spending, like, dude, I don't even know how much I spend in a day, in a month. I don't have, because back then I used to have like a mental notes of things, how things goes down. I have an app to track all these things.
What app is that?
I've forgotten the app then, but even Kuda does it for me now, but like they don't do it perfectly, so I just like leave it. I don't even track anything these days. They just help you track your expenses.
So do you save? I think saving is the core of my question. How is your finance?
I save, but I think now I feel bad I saved because I was saving in Naira.
Sorry.
So I saved in Naira, and right now all those money, because it's just there. I mean, I can't even pick it out. But maybe next year when the price...
You put it in carry-wise, you locked your
money. Yeah, I locked my money.
That's one of the worst things, in my opinion. That's one of the worst things.
What would you rather do?
Convert it to dollars and invest in like stock on the US market. I told you to do that.
But yeah, I was doing it at some point.
I remember recommending.
I was doing it at some point, but then I just got distracted because for people like me who are being careful, I think I'm very clear. I'm someone who's very careful with money.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh geez, I could use cash here, but now I've seen better ways. I'm wise now. I could like just come out my money to dollars and save it in an interest, like in a fixed dollar saving or Bitcoin. Like there are now vaults where you could save your money in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That gets you interest.
You can even convert to BUSD.
Yeah, and all those things. So I think I'm excited about that next year when I cash out from carry-wise. No, I mean, I don't know why I keep my money carry. I just keep money there.
That's one of the dumbest, and everybody does it.
Like, I don't know.
Every Nigerian youth has thought about putting their money in carry-wise.
Oh, see, another thing is that I never used to have money, cash in my account.
Yes.
Presently, I have cash in my account, like massive cash. Like, dude, I don't used to put money in my account. Like, I just like put it somewhere else. Like, I don't like money being in my account. I don't want to see that I have money.
Why?
I want to be broke.
You have to keep that mentality, yes?
Yes, I want to be broke. Like, I don't even like seeing money in my account. Now I have money in my account. It's paining me. Like, dude, this money would have gained something if it was somewhere else. So I think if I did something wise with that money, now I regret it.
I think a lot of Nigerians don't understand money and don't understand how to make money. So that's a very huge part of financial literacy that everybody's always talking about. But me, I would say I understand how to use money because I'm studying finance. I was an investment banker up until last 2 weeks when I quit my job. So I have learned the basics that would help you see something and say, oh, this is a good way to use your funds and this is a good place to invest. And this is because of me studying hours on end and listening to people talk on end about investment. Most or other Nigerian youths don't have this. Most other Nigerian youths don't have this, especially when you're not in the finance sector or you're not doing IB or private equity or VC. Say you, for example, you're a tech guy. How many finance journals have you read? How many finance concepts do you really understand? And I think that's where carry-wise now came in. They came in as a safe haven. Oh, don't worry, just give me your money. I'll lock you up for 1 year and I'll give you 12% on your money. In the last 4 months, on a portfolio that I'm in, I think we've made 36% or something.
Wow.
Just investing in the US market. And it's just me and 3 other guys, all in finance sector, came and we're saving together. And we have this IC thing where we'll talk and say, oh, what stock do you think we should buy? We'll build a financial model. We'll talk about it and we'll say, oh yes, buy. Oh yes, no, I don't like this. We'll have an argument and we'll pick some stocks, and we have picked like around 6, 7, 8, and they're doing pretty well. I think Apple is the only thing on my portfolio that is shit.
Wow.
But that's because we bought Apple at a high level. And it's also a long-term portfolio. So we're not even thinking about returns now. We're thinking returns in 30 years. And that's typically how you should think about it. not now, but say 30 years, 40 years, if I want to retire in 20 years, how much will I have? How much will I have gained? Because compounding only works when there's a long period of time. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand. Some people will call you and hit you up and say they want to make, or they will see all this stupid shit on Farm Crowdy or something that they'll give you 25% in 2 months. Bring your money, they'll give you 60% in 1 day, 45 minutes. And people put their money into that.
I think
people put their money into that shit.
People. I feel like it's not only Nigerians. Like people want to just the way money is like. Though the way with money, if you understand like reinforcement learning, it's just like money now, $1 now is better than $1 in the future. So that's how people are hardwired. They're hardwired for quick rewards. Yeah. So, but I think it's just socialization and maybe knowledge that just have to make us know that
I think it's more knowledge than socialization. I think it's more of an ignorance thing than a mentality type thing. Because, for example, if you understand that the cheapest or the risk-less type of investment, the government bond, will pay you 10% on your money for 1 year. So if you give the government Naira, so if you give Nigerian government Naira to invest or to do an infrastructural project, so you give the Nigerian government 1,000 Naira, at the end of the year, the government would almost always give you back your money back with a particular interest. And that interest is risk-free rate. Because the government of Nigeria prints Naira, there's very little chance that it defaults on that loan. So that's the base level of interest rate in the country. And as you go higher, you go to banks lending money, you go to people lending money, that interest rate goes up because of the more risk that you're taking. So if you understand concepts like that, you wouldn't fall to someone telling you that you should bring your money and in 5 weeks, he'll give you 200%. First of all, it doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? If you had that opportunity, why don't you sell all your property and put your money into it? Why are you asking me for my own money? Why don't you go to the bank and borrow money at 20%, borrow 30 million at 20% and put it in that investment? Why do you need my money?
I think that makes sense. Now, I'm hearing that analogy for the first time, and it's pretty valid.
So you have 60, you have a way to make 60% in 2 weeks, Abi?
Yeah.
Why do you need my fucking money? Why don't you tell all your family members to go and liquidate their assets and put it and guarantee them the 60% back?
Except you just want to rip me off.
Except you just want to rip me off.
Well, going on, because I feel like, okay, now this might be like a learning experience for some people. Since this is the end of the year already, and people might, into 2021, want to have some financial...
No, 2021, this December. Because scammers will be like, they need money to go to their villages, and they'll be like, okay, put your money. Most of these scams, MMM, and it starts at the end of the year, the Ember month. And I think a number crashed a couple of months ago. Put your money there, we'll give you 20% after 2 weeks, we'll give you 10% after 1. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I still don't know, like, people, what's the rationale that will make, because you know that all these things have been crashing. What's still the rationale that pushes you?
The quick cash.
Because someone like me, if you tell me anything about come and do this, my first instinct is get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not putting my money into anything.
I argue.
I don't want to hear what you have to tell me.
I'm all for the argument.
I don't, because I don't even want to argue with you, because they're trying to. But I think it's basically because, even apart from trying to convince me to put money, it's because everything in my life, I see everything as sales.
Yes.
That's anything. I go to church. I go to anywhere. I see people as trying. That's my default. And somebody's trying to sell me something.
Yes.
So I'm always at alert. Anybody's talking to me, my mindset is that this person's trying to sell me something. That's why I'm like shut people off.
Does that upset you? Because recently it has been upsetting me. Everything is looking like propaganda. You go on Twitter, propaganda. You go on WhatsApp. Everybody's selling you something. Everybody has a business that they want to do.
The thing is, everybody online is they're either trying to push a narrative or they're trying to sell something. That's just the fact.
It's either propaganda or you want to sell stuff.
Yeah. So even me, I'm trying to like when I'm on WhatsApp. I think I don't tweet that much, but I post on WhatsApp a lot. But like all I'm trying to do is like I just try to sell.
Yeah, you're selling your podcast.
Sell my own podcast and sell what I'm thinking.
So in the end, is that not how life is? Because in the end, everybody wants to be a billionaire. Everybody wants to make something. Everybody wants to create something. So
now, what's the game theory of that? How do you like maximize long term? Like when you are trying to sell, how do you like make sure that long term you sold enough and you gathered enough rewards? And maybe rewards were like the proceeds of your sales.
I think the way to handle it is not to think about it like selling something. So see how Joe Rogan built his podcast from scratch, and he just kept doing the thing he loved. It might sound cliche and sound like, oh, that's what everybody will say, but if you keep it to, oh, this is what I love doing, I'm just going to keep at it. And advert is not a bad thing. Yeah. You putting it on, you creating awareness about what you're doing is not a bad thing. But when that becomes more important than the content you're creating, that's when you start fucking things up.
I think even now that's a big problem for me. My problem is how to sell my podcast because I'm trying to see if I can market it. But so most times I feel like I don't need to market my podcast because people who will listen will definitely listen. Like I don't need to push content to people. But now I'm trying to maybe I should get a wider audience because we are definitely doing work when we are making podcasts.
Yes.
Sit down to record. You should make a little out of it. So if you have a more like even far wider audience, it means more money for you because people will want to advertise your stuff in your podcast. But I still don't know if I should market or I should just because though I have good listens, but my listening is poor in Nigeria compared to people in the US. So I'm trying to like increase my Nigerian audience. I don't know how to go about marketing, whether I should just be satisfied. Okay, I have people listening and okay, that's chill. I don't need to like waste money on marketing.
So do you know why I think you have a larger audience outside Nigeria than inside Nigeria?
Right.
Because more of your interviewees, the people you interview, are outside Nigeria than inside Nigeria.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to improve. Like from now till next year. Next year, I want to be talking to podcasters and creatives.
Is it hard to find intelligent Nigerian people to talk to?
Sure. This is the problem. You email someone in Nigeria.
Yes.
They either snub you or they don't even read your email.
Check their mail.
You get so I try to like why are Nigerians this rude? Okay, let me tell you now, I've emailed a lot of people, like not a lot, but like people I feel like I could have a conversation with.
Is it popular or Twitter popular type people?
Okay, I emailed Kikimoji.
Yes.
I emailed Ozzy Etomi. I emailed Sega Link, but although I feel now in hindsight that would have been a bad idea because not a bad idea because still I want to have conversations with people no matter how no matter how much of a demon people see them as. I want to have conversations with everybody.
No matter how controversial they are.
Yeah. No matter how controversial they are, okay. But like I think that's what makes conversation interesting, and I think that's what I even set out to do. That's why I want to have conversations with Kikimoji because she has an Ozzy Atomi. Those two, they have controversy. I don't necessarily agree with everything they say. They say a lot of things. I want to like talk about those things with them.
Yeah, but I understand from their perspective how it might be more for you than for them. So, if you think about it from the sales perspective, it is you trying to sell something to them now, and them looking like, oh, okay, now because I have because I have some public platform, because I have a platform, you want to take advantage and use that to step up your own audience. Yeah. So it's more of you benefit from that arrangement than we benefit from that arrangement.
Yeah, I understand.
So when you get snubbed on that level, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
At least for now. Then you have to build up your followership, build up your audience before it is now it's a win-win for everybody.
I think for now, because I've seen podcasts that really blew up. Like, see now, Mr. Easy and his girlfriend Temi Otedola, they started a podcast and people are listening to.
I haven't listened to that.
People are listening to that shit like madly. So I just felt okay, maybe they have a platform already.
But then again, they already had the platform.
Yes, they already had the platform. So I've seen people like even this guy. He's just an ordinary Nigerian guy too. He started his podcast, So Nigerian. So he started So Nigerian. He had, I think he posted before that he had 30k listeners. He was having 10k consistently per month, I think. I mean, he should have like 5k average, 10k, 5 to 10k. So that's pretty big for a Nigerian podcast.
I don't think you should be looking at your numbers.
That's exactly. When I started, I told myself I'm not going to look at the numbers.
But you couldn't help it.
But as a creative, when you look, like you got, what did I get? 150. So you get so big numbers that the next episode it just drops because you now try to like, oh, what was wrong there? What did I do?
No, I believe it's because of the people you talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have this conversation, after we have this conversation, I put it on my WhatsApp that I had a conversation with Calvin. Go and check it out. It was actually good. Someone that I recommended it to will recommend it to someone else, and then you have people listen to you more.
Yeah.
And if it was really good that somebody says, "Oh, let me listen to the next one," then you have a regular list, at least for some time. So I don't think it's what conversation you had with or how you interviewed the other person. I think it's more of platforms. How big is this person's platform? How big is NS platform? Even if at the smallest level, if it's not 10k, 20k, how big is the people that want to listen to her talk?
Yeah. I think that's interesting because NA has given me good number of listeners.
Yeah, you see.
But she doesn't have large, and then has a large platform on Instagram. She didn't even post because I sent her an audio visual on to use, but she didn't like respond to that email. She didn't upload it. So, but like she retweeted my stuff when I was listening, but I necessarily don't know if.
So I think right now you should just focus on content because the sound is good. I will tell you that for free. The sound is good. Sometimes I can. Okay, when I was listening to it, I'll just put it on and I'll be working and I'll have to stop work to just listen to the podcast. Same way it is with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, I cannot even start.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, you have to like, because Joe Rogan, I don't know how Joe Rogan does it, that he does 3 hours.
Sometimes the sound is so good, you just have to listen to it.
Joe Rogan has one of the best sounds I've heard, followed by, I think some of the three podcasts I've listened to that has like the best sounds so far. Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman, and
like
there's this guy, a guy from meditation, Sam Harris. Sam Harris Making Sense podcast.
Yeah.
His sound is clean. There's a way he talks. His tone. There's a way he uses. There's a way he talks like he has this prose nature of
Lex
talking.
Friedman does this thing like where he talks without emotion, or he seems to talk without emotion.
The following is a conversation between conversation. If you like this podcast, I really like. I think I've adopted a lot of things from both Lex, because when I say here's my conversation, and when from Sam Harris, I think what did I adopt from him? I adopted I've forgotten, because I know there's something I stole from him. I'm trying to remember. There's like an intro.
I don't listen to Sam Harris's podcast, so I might not know what you're talking to, but his waking up is wonderful.
In case you are listening and you want to meditate, mindfulness, meditation, you want to know if you feel like you have a self, you feel like your mind and your body are two separate things. You could, reach out to me. I would give you an invite to waking up. You could explore the inner workings of your mind, I guess.
It's a wonderful thing to even listen to just listen to, even if you don't want to meditate.
Yes.
Just listen to people talk about perspectives on how your mind is and how to control yourself. It's wonderful. There's this conversation he has on waking up with a poet. I guess that guy's voice was. Do you know the voice of the dragon in Merlin?
No.
Have you watched Merlin?
No, I didn't watch Merlin.
Ah, fuck. So there's this guy who was the dragon, who was the voice of the dragon, and that guy's voice was as good as that guy's. It was a wonderful conversation.
I think props for voice actually matters in podcast. Definitely. Because a lot of people tell me they listen to my podcast just because of my voice. I know that's females now.
Yes.
Girls, I don't know why I should be saying females now because I don't want anybody to come and attack me because I've heard now that females, people like girls don't like to be addressed as females. Like we have to say women or girls. Now a lot of girls have the GM is like
ladies. Really nice. I think ladies is perfect.
Yeah, ladies. Like that, ladies. All those things. Well, it's really good. Props for voice too because there are some people I don't want to listen to because their voice is whack.
Not whack. It's just not your taste. I wouldn't say whack. So someone might listen to you and say, "Oh, it's okay." Then someone might listen to you and say, "Oh, okay, I like the sound of this."
Yeah. Do you know Zubi?
No, I don't.
Zubi on Twitter. They have the podcast.
Zubi, no, I don't.
Zubi is this controversial right wing. I think it's much right wing.
You say you don't like labels, and here you are labeling everybody.
No, he's a right wing person. I'm not. Those are people. They know where they stand.
What are you?
Me?
Yes.
If I were to label myself,
yes.
Okay, now if I were to label myself,
right, center, or
I might say I'm just a radical centrist.
So you're a centrist.
I'm a centrist in the sense that I believe that.
Are you a fencist?
I believe no. I'm just an out. I'm an out centrist because I believe in. I'm a radical centrist because I believe that we need ideas from the left. I can understand what the radical left
give
are
me
saying.
2 examples of those ideas that we
liberal. Like look at what liberal some of the left ideas like feminism and abortion.
And abortion,
right. and all those things, okay, like so gay rights.
Give me gay rights from the right.
Now, when you now talk about
from the right wing,
from right wing,
yes,
right wing
that doesn't contradict abortion and
right wing, something like immigration. I believe, for some reason, I believe that we need to like.
Well, that's an American problem. It doesn't really affect us in Nigeria. Okay. Give me something that's Nigerian.
Okay, let me see from a Nigerian perspective. I think one of the things we should be conservative about. Yes. You see, I'm thinking now because I've not really thought about this thing deeply from a Nigerian perspective. But if I say, okay, one of the things we should be quite conservative about in Nigeria is I like the way I was brought up TV-wise.
You were?
Like TV.
Yes.
TV in Nigeria back then.
Yes.
It was not as... Now, a lot of things now, children are being exposed to certain content. I felt like...
Censorship.
In a sense, but for children. I like censorship, but for children.
How would you censor for just children? You do daytime television to be censored. You make daytime television censored.
Would you censor daytime television, or you make it that because right now people use cable, so let's talk about cable. Okay, you could just make it out there like this strict parental controls on TV where you could make sure that like children are listening to conservative content.
Parental control is more of trying to imbibe that culture to the parents so they'll teach their children not to watch certain things.
Yeah, at a certain age. I feel like, although, because for me, I right now, I'm still more liberal and I knew I grew up in a conservative culture where I was not allowed to expose myself to certain things. But I still turned out alright. I mean, so I still feel, yes, that could be a thing. That kind of ideology, we could adopt it.
I want to ask you a question. Part of those things that you'd censor, would you censor Naira Marley's music?
Naira Marley's music. Okay, first of all, let me just
wait. Children of the age 1 to 12.
Okay, video. Let me talk about video. If it was Naira Marley video, definitely I'm censoring it. Okay. I don't want to see children. I don't want children to grow up knowing that people objectify women in their videos.
Okay.
Now this is a big thing for me now, because now if you talk about objectification of women, if it's a man he's a male artist and he has female people doing all this shit, you can now say something. But when you now have a female artist, these things are now confusing to me. This is why I feel like, okay, we need this, because when you now clash it, for a female artist with females doing all this rubbish in our own video is female liberation.
Yes.
But this is objectification. So this is like because I believe that every kind of ideology has problems. That's why I still feel like we could, because when somebody tell me that we should not debate an ideology, like e.g. we should not debate feminism, or we should not debate this because they feel it's perfect, I feel that's wrong. Every ideology has flaws.
So, but the core of feminism, which is to...
Okay, that was the beginning of this thing, but like now I read feminist philosophy a lot.
Yes.
I read a lot of feminism. So I know what feminism is right now.
The core makes sense, and the core is undebatable.
Yes. The core is but like feminism in 2020, like now when you now branch it out to all the problems.
Don't branch. Let's not branch.
When you now branch, because I read feminist philosophy and I'm like anybody who is academic, anybody who understands feminism at an academic level, like for me, maybe I'm not a researcher, but at least I follow the philosophy and I read about the things. So I feel, yes, even a philosopher will tell you there are problems. Yeah, every ideology has problems. So it's people who come out from a non-academic view that will tell you that their ideology is perfect.
No, nobody says, I don't think a feminist will say feminism is perfect, but the argument of giving equal opportunity to everybody is flawless.
So as I was saying, like, I mean, you have opinion. Okay, you feel that people outside of an academic environment, academic mindset, will think that their own ideologies are not flawed, based on what you are seeing on Twitter.
No, me, I'm saying, if we strip feminism down to its core,
sure, it's a perfect ideology.
Equal opportunity for everyone. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Yes. Why not fight for equal opportunity for everybody? The same scenario that I gave you, where my GMD can give me a thumbs up or wink, and if I was a lady, she wouldn't think to do that because it is borderline.
Yeah.
It could be borderline.
Yes. Now I'm interested in this conversation because most of the times when we have conversations around, that's why I take Twitter really seriously. I don't know. Some of these things, I sit down, I think about it.
You shouldn't.
Like, because I try to think about it in long term, the kind of problems that might arise. Okay, the problems that might arise because your boss can't just simply give a thumbs up to a female employee just because it might be thought of as flirting.
Yes.
So, but he can give you a guy a thumbs up because it's just normal.
Yes.
These things could pose problems in the future where we are afraid to do certain things just because because we are afraid to do certain things because we don't know how people will perceive them.
So I think it's causing problems already, because most times in an office setting, you see the lady doesn't have tight relationships with her boss and her MD and her superiors just because they don't want to cross a proverbial line.
Yes.
And men are shit. So it's not like all the MDs are trying to be nice guys. Half of them want to harass the lady, or half of them want to fuck.
Yeah.
So if you say, okay, you can be anyhow to a lady, the same, if it was a guy, would you do this? If that was the mindset, before you do something, if this was a guy, would I do the same thing? If yes, do it. If no, don't.
Yeah.
It makes sense that should be the right way to go. Up until that fucking boss that just wants to smash and tease his subordinate as sexy in quote tries stupid shit like that. And that's where females cannot make concrete relationships with their superiors. And those are relationships that push your career forward.
I feel
those are relationships that your boss will go outside and say, oh, I even have a nice analyst that will work together. We have a very good relationship. And maybe she should do this thing for you, or you should hire him as in your firm.
I feel
so that is limiting the opportunity for women already. Yeah. Just because they are women.
Yes,
just because
exactly.
the MDs cannot do certain
because
things
if
to form stronger relationships.
If I don't have a relationship with you, I can't recommend you for anything.
You can't.
And this will pose problems. I'm interested in this because in a tech perspective now.
Yes.
Because in a tech perspective, where in an office, we probably learn from each other. I've worked in a software development. I worked as a software engineer for some companies.
Yes.
You know, I had female engineers on my team. I was working in the machine learning team. I had female engineers on that team. I had male engineers on that team.
Okay.
So now a certain day, a female engineer was stuck on a problem. She messaged me. We did a Zoom, tried to clear things up. You know, we texted. They say, what I told her was that if you are stuck on anything, don't be scared to reach out. But I don't know the mindset of her, of maybe her feeling like she could be disturbing me.
Yes.
Or it could be turning into something else but I understand that. Now, I have male engineers where they are stuck on the problem. They escalate, just quite bring it out, let's solve it. Or I'm stuck on the problem, I just reach out to them. Now, what I found out that this girl that I said she should reach out to me, what she did was that there was another female engineer. That was the one she was now relating with.
Yes.
She's now like, okay, it's easier for her to relate with a female. I understand that perfectly.
Yes.
But
regardless of
now,
talent on how to solve
right. But now,
problem.
The person that she reached out to had, because she was given a project, she could not deliver. I had to take up that project and deliver even in less amount of days. So you see, it bridges this communication, because if you want to say male team, female team, if all of us are not putting hands on deck and learning from each other, we won't progress. Yeah. You see, I'm not trying to call them dumb. They solve problems I could not have solved, but like there was a specific project that they could not do and I could do, and all of us could have learned from it, but like they chose to like camp on a team of female. But I want us.
So was it like a male team, female team type of?
It wasn't, but like it's not like a male team, female team. But that's what she reached out to a female colleague. She did not now reach out to me.
Okay, what about you? What did you do to make her feel comfortable prior to that?
What I started to do was I started texting in the broad general. No more DMs.
Okay.
You get? I tried to do, but then I had one other female engineer who was also bringing her own problems to the general group so that we could sort everything out
together.
So what was that? I think that was good in the sense that, okay, we are trying to like be open here so that make it a conducive. I have problems, I put it out. Someone has problems, put it out. So that all of us could try to learn from whatever thing we are working on.
Yes.
So I think that was what I did, which I don't know if because she was not really active on the team, so I don't know how that.
I think it's really tough. It's really tough for ladies to ask for help because most guys want to take advantage of you.
That is something, because now I have a bunch of female friends. I don't know how. I was never someone who envisioned my life that I'll have many female friends. Maybe girls feel they have a safe space with me.
Yeah.
I know you could say
that. You probably create that
safe space where they could be vulnerable, talk about problems, bring anything that they feel like escalates any kind of issues. I feel we could do that. I know a lot of guys don't have this mindset. I'm speaking as a guy now. I know a lot of people want to smash.
A lot of guys are shit. A lot of guys just want to smash.
So I don't know. What would you? Because for me now, I don't. Is it just high level of testosterone or just low level of like what is causing this massive horniness? Do we have an horniness epidemic?
That sounds like a great question. It's actually a great question because, well, I'm not even going to come out and say that I'm free from this type of thing. Like, I try to limit the number of girls I talk to. One, because of my relationship, and two, because of the fact that sometimes there's this attraction that you have with another person when you guys just communicate a lot. And that can transcend into me wanting to smash or you wanting to smash.
Now, if you now think about that, what if we now say, leave harassment alone?
Yes.
What if we have a conversation, an honest conversation with this person? Mm-hmm. Do you feel the same way? Should we do it? Should we proceed and just be like,
but that's
do
not
it
how
on these terms?
That's not how things are, though.
Yeah.
People are not that outright. Okay, babe. We have been talking for a while and I think I want to smash. Nobody will say that. No guy will ever come out and say that. But first of all, I think that horniness epidemic is real. I think.
Okay. See now, I was looking at because most of when I was having like during the whole rape saga, yes. I tried to because I tried to read so much history. I tried to understand what my ancestors faced.
Mm-hmm.
You get and what I'm facing and how they relate. I read about sexual repression days before the sexual repression. Yeah. I read about days during the sexual repression and days after the sexual liberation.
Give me an idea of what the sexual
liberation was where women were now free to come out with wherever they could.
Free to smoke cigarettes. Free
to open their bodies. Porn was now available to men. You get everywhere. Okay. So like everybody was open about sex during the beginning of the sexual liberation. I read that sex really skyrocketed. Porn levels really skyrocketed. I now try to rationalize that we have rape now. Do you feel is because I know now? Let me know now. Somebody might be listening and say, but I know we had rape during the sexual repression, during even days before the sexual liberation.
Yes.
During our forefathers, people were still raping.
Rape is.
You get?
There are a lot of mad people.
But now I'm not talking about sexual harassment, like small, stupid sexual harassment, like all this just wanting to touch, wanting to Kelvin, rub your like.
So Kelvin, I think number one, people don't have boundaries. So if you have some set boundaries, it will make you act right. If you don't have boundaries, sometimes you get very close to the boundary and you just jump. So number one, if you have a boundary, I don't eat where I shit. I don't shit where I eat. I would not have a relationship at work. If that's a clear boundary for you, you wouldn't get into that. Me and my coworker are trying to have one relationship. Something wrong happens. She goes to report. You won't have that because you don't eat where you shit. There's a pretty lady in the office. No, I don't shit where I eat. So you take it away from the office space. If you have that with your friends and you say, this babe is my friend and that's all she's going to be, my friend. And that's a boundary you set. And when you have those things serve as a guide. Although sometimes you might fall short, but those things serve as a guide to how you think when you're in those situations. I feel most guys don't have this. First of all, as a guy, when you see a babe that you know you've spent some time with, you think about it. Smash or not. You probably say smash because you're a guy. And then you try to smash. Then during that, I'm trying to smash, I'm trying to make you laugh, we're trying to get to know each other, you now see that, this person is better as a friend, or this person is better as a lover. Okay, yeah. So I have a question for you. Do you think ladies have a problem handling sexual harassment? Before you answer my question, I want to state that they shouldn't even have the problem of handling sexual harassment. But we're not in an ideal world.
Yeah.
So do you think sometimes ladies don't know how to handle sexual harassment?
Okay, what I'll say is that like ladies, I feel like they don't escalate early. Escalate in the sense that they don't like bring it up early.
Exactly.
Like they like to, I don't know why they allow it to like delay.
They think guys have to.
You get, so I don't know, because for me as a person,
Yes.
if I noticed one thing now,
But that's because
I could give you benefit of doubt. If I notice it again, I will power for you. You get, like, I don't like to try to hide, like, I escalate things
So
that,
ladies on the other hand, they will create excuses for their boss. Oh, he was drunk. Oh, he was sad. Oh, he had a bad day. That's why he tried to harass me.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense at all. Sometimes I feel ladies should be more aggressive. Yeah. Especially at the workplace. You shouldn't take shit.
Now, that aggressiveness is important, because if we are trying to be equals, we should be equally aggressive. Because I know I'm going to be aggressive when I want to, because I'm aggressive to my male colleague, and I want to be aggressive to my female colleague as I'm aggressive. Now I'm talking about aggressiveness in the terms when it's necessary.
Yes.
When we were having a kind of heated debate, I want to be as heated in that debate to a male as I am to a female, just so that, because that is when I could feel that we are equals. When I'm trying to speak to you with a light heart, I feel I'm petting you.
I feel a lot of ladies don't escalate a lot.
Yes, we should be able to escalate things fast, and I feel that will help them in that sense, and help this culture of sexual assault.
So, from sexual harassment, let's talk about, I don't know, relationships and your love life. How's your love life going? You told me you were in a relationship recently. I hope I'm not spoiling your part.
No, not that. Well, it's not, I don't have side parus.
Are you sure?
I just have people who might be deceiving themselves, thinking they are in a relationship with me.
Part of the problem.
I'm not part of the problem. No, I'm not part of the problem, because I didn't tell you to text me. I didn't tell you to flirt with me. But then I want to feel good. I mean, I like a conversation.
So you can't tell her straight up that you wouldn't be with her and you have a
No. We don't go to that. Me, I know that in any amount of way I'm going to do, I'm not going to smash you. I'm not going to.
What if you're the one fooling yourself that you think is flirting? What if she's just being a nice person?
Yeah, definitely. It could be flirting. It could be in the bar. I still enjoy it. No, it's still attention you're giving me. Okay. So, I mean, it's still a good thing.
Do you give girls attention? Or do you give ladies attention?
No, not much. Like, just my friends.
Wow, that was a quick answer.
I don't have time for people who are like, because I know if I give you time and you can give me time, then we are friends, like we are cool. Because I know that you are going to reciprocate energy.
So what about your girlfriend? Do you give her enough attention?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, she likes me as a person, and she because now I for my girlfriend now, I think one of the best things I did was to create this safe space where we could talk about anything and know that we have to escalate quick in any, like, if you are thinking about something, don't tell me next week or say you have been, tell me now, let's sort it out. I want to solve every problem as it arises, so that have conversations every day about anything that arises, so that we could, like, I've seen people who, I've had friendships where they ended up badly because we didn't bring up those problems early. We just allowed things to compound and just compounding just all the flow, and then from that dead flow, then those friendships ended.
So, random thoughts. Remember when we used to have arguments like this?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I think we should do it. We should do that. We should have the whole guy.
At then that time, Aka was there, and what's this guy's name? Lulu. Now, I think I was crushing on At that time, I was not really dating anybody.
Yeah.
But I was talking to a few girls.
Yeah.
My mindset was not to date.
Girl.
Genevieve.
Yes, that was that girl.
That girl was really pretty to me then. Like, damn.
What do you mean by pretty to you then? How is she to you now?
She's still pretty, but like she's not like in my eyes like that anymore.
Because
like in my eyes, just because maybe she's not like a romantic interest anymore. I'm just maybe a friend now.
It was really deep for you.
I should probably text her.
No, you should. No, you should. Don't do that. Don't.
So because I let me see how many friendships have I spoiled so far?
Spoiled.
I'm not really good at spoiling friendships. I kind of
with
like
girls?
friendships. Yeah, I don't spoil them.
Ladies.
Yeah, most even guys. I like. That's because I don't make new friends.
Are you still friends with Ata?
Yeah, we talk. It's not like we talk every day, but like when we talk, we'll still vibe and laugh and
that's
everything we can do. Yeah, I mean, those were the days.
Things where you didn't have.
No, I feel like there's a certain freedom that comes with being broke.
That comes with being
broke. If you think about it,
broke and without responsibility.
Now I feel like because now I'm a firstborn.
Yeah.
My dad would tell me all these things about you have
siblings to take care of.
And this is something because I talked about it today on my status about how I want to write an article about black tax.
Yes.
There's responsibilities on people from black homes, African homes.
There's a lot.
And where you have to I feel when you now grow up, you have to pay your parents for raising you. Yeah. When you look at other kind of
that's exactly how it is. You have to pay
ethnicities that didn't have these issues, like maybe the white Americans, they are maybe mid class. They weren't like that. You understand? You just live your life.
Black tax is heavy in Nigeria. I have a friend who is a lady, and she earns a lot. She earns way more than I do. And after she gives her brother money, after she gives her sister money, after she gives her mom some money, we're back on the same level. Our salaries are back, and she earns way more than I do. But me, I don't. I basically spend all my earnings.
Yeah.
Plus give my sister some small cash here and there. So if you think about black tax, sometimes it's stressful. It's stressful on her right now. Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I have massive respect for her because of what she can do for her family.
Yeah.
And another thing about black tax is you feel obligated to do these things.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Then your family, your brother has to go to school. He wants to buy a new laptop. You have to find money for the laptop.
Yeah. So when I went home, because it's been long, I went home. When did I go home? I went home after I finished my project defense and all these things. I went back to Abuja. All my siblings, they were not having any laptop. Now I came back. When I traveled now, as of now, all of them have laptops. So, but I would not say I contributed a little to that because I'm like tech guy in the house. Like I have to set them up, give them what they like. I contributed a little bit of money for my youngest brother's own. I give them what they need to learn and all this, but because I want to create that space where I don't want to be. There shouldn't be something like breadwinner. We could all win.
Definitely.
We could have our money so that there's nothing there's no word like breadwinner.
Definitely.
We could all make so.
Everybody
right now.
Could be
right now all my brothers are into tech now. They are learning how to program and all these things. Even my youngest brother of 11, I think he just turned 11. 11. He's doing this. I communicated with him about a project he's doing. I feel like before he gets to my age,
definitely.
I want that. Even my sister. I only have one sister.
Yes.
She's doing fashion design now. She's doing tailoring. She has her own sewing machine now.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to contribute to that, but I'm too stingy. I didn't contribute anything to her sewing machine. But now she's sewing, and I feel like I'm happy. I'm happy in the sense that since all these guys are doing their own, okay, now who remains is mom and dad. I don't know. My dad in the next few years, he probably would just be living his life because I don't see. Why am I saying this? Because I feel like, okay, we will be the ones helping at that time. But then it's still good because then for siblings wise, because they are going to go to school. When you think about school fees, all those responsibilities are not on your head.
Those things it's really difficult in Nigeria and Africa in general, I guess.
But financially, because I'm going to write an article, and when I want to write about problem, I like to give at least one solution or a starting solution. What do you think? Because it's just a cycle. Now, what do you think could if we break the cycle, okay, we now know that if we break the cycle here, then the next generations will not have to suffer, even though our own, then the next generations will not have to suffer it.
So the thing about black tax is, I don't think the next generation is going to suffer.
Why?
Because the way we're going now is you're already contributing to all your siblings, and they would have a sense of gratitude. And when they get to a position like yours, where they need to fend for someone else, instead of giving them recurrent money, or take money for this, take money for that, I'd rather give you a laptop and teach you how to make money. So because you've trained them like that, they'll have a mindset to do that to the next generation. I think why we are suffering is because our parents didn't think to do the right things. I don't even think they are exposed enough. I think
education was a big problem.
Education is a big problem. Is a giant problem in Nigeria.
Now, I just got a thought, because I remember some of the guys that used to bill me then.
Yeah.
It's not like maybe bill and hail you. Like, okay, you are this. I mean, it's not like I'm that well to do. I earn what I could live. I could live on my own. I could survive very well on what I want to survive. But I now say, okay, these guys, they don't have anything doing. You need. I can't give you my. I don't like. I'm more like
the
person to teach you how to fish. I don't like to give you fish. I want to teach you how to fish. So there are some guys now I gave tutorials. Go and learn this thing. Go and know this thing. You now see them. They were broke then. They are still broke now. What if I wish you just endured? You get? Yeah. You were thinking about the time and all the things. But now you are still broke. So what's the difference? What if you are just endured? By now you have started getting, even if it's small gigs. Yeah. It starts from somewhere. 30K. Maybe even if it's someone that wants to cheat you, give you 30K.
You can even run gigs through them. So sometimes from gigs.
Yes, because I rejected 2 jobs last month.
Yeah, rather than reject.
You get? I reject because I don't want to. I don't like the people that want to give me this book, but they might not mind. They might want to collect this work.
I had someone thinking, and the person said, as you are trying to blow, try to help your brothers blow, or as you're trying to rise, try to help your brothers rise. And
people like to say that, but the game theory of that is not coherent. Because now let me think as an economist, as a rational person.
Yeah.
A rational person is selfish. A rational person is selfish.
So I'm selfish up until the point where I now reject gig.
Yes.
And I cannot give it to my guy.
That is how people are. No. Now.
So if I'm rejecting it, I'd rather it go to my guy.
Yes. But I don't know. That's why we now have to maybe account for things like boundary rationality. No, but economists will assume that people are
why I even started that thought was sometimes the effort. I don't want to say some particular things, but sometimes the effort doesn't match what my bro wants. So you want money. Everybody wants money. What are you willing to do for money? Are you willing to give up hours of sleep for money? I am. Are you willing to do it? Everybody says yes. Okay, let's do something. Okay, work on this. Okay, try to read this so you would understand a gig. So understand how financial statements flow into each other. So if I give you a gig on Excel, you'll be able to do it. And then that's where problems start coming up. Oh, my laptop bad. Oh, my this and this.
Like people just say it, but they are not like you know how to when I say this thing will take me blood, and I was like that in secondary school when I needed good grades. I'll say I don't mind if all my blood goes.
Yeah.
I need good grades.
Even in the university, sometimes you read so bad.
Yes, because I need it so bad.
I remember reading so bad with Precious one time, and we were walking, and I think a car tried to hit us or some stupid thing. And it was like, yeah, even if that card hit us, even if that card hit us, we still have got to exam halls, right?
People say they need something, but like they don't know what it means. Like, because I used to code on, when I went home recently, I saw my small Techno H5. Yeah. That was where I learned. I was practicing. I was making websites, learning how to make forms, buttons, all these things on my small phone. I was like, wow, this was me back then. Like, I really wanted, because I could have given an excuse I don't have laptop.
Definitely.
Because even my friends, like, I thought used to say your laptop, because the laptop I was using then, the laptop does not hold charge. So immediately they cut off the light.
It goes off.
It just goes off. That was what I started. That's the laptop I started with. It was really frustrating for me. Like, that, I think that slowed me down learning, because growing up where, you know, like in Abuja, my area in Abuja, light was bad. You now have to wait for generator.
Yeah.
All this, like, it slowed me down.
So, but you kept at it.
I just like kept doing, like, okay, I know that this is the time to play or do other activities when there's no light.
Yeah.
That once you are playing when there's light, it means you are wasting your life. That literally is like, when there's light, don't waste light. Like, you have to like sit down there. I sit down there for hours. Okay, they bring light in the midnight. It means you have to sit down there for hours. Sleep by 6 a.m.
when there's no light.
You understand? Like, do anything you want to do. Maybe you practice any other thing when there's no light, but make sure you're not wasting light. So that's like my own. You just try to like arrange all those things. And I don't know how it turned out, but I felt like, I mean, look at shit now. She worked out somehow.
Do you feel like that drive to be better? Do you think it's internal? Do you think you can't work on it? Because that thought has crossed my mind once or twice.
People can't learn it. I think that I talked about this with motivation, and because I talked about something about motivation in one of my guests. So I was like, because if you think about people, like, people want what's best for them. Why can't they go get it? You get? Why can't they go get it? What's stopping them? I want what's best for me. Why can't I go get it?
Motivation.
People don't have the same motivation level. For me, I have, because when I know I must do something, I know I have to do something. I don't mind sitting there for hours, going through a series of hunger and sleepless nights just to get what I want. I don't mind. But like, people can't. I mean, this life now one. I know if you kill myself, you get that. That's people's mentality. Oh, anybody will go make them. You know, you get that kind of thing.
And there are also some people who would say, "Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this." So they are gingered in this moment. Then 1 week after, how far?
Okay,
stuff that you're
those guys are really intense people. I'm
an intense person. I'm not a consistent person.
Yeah.
So I know consistent people who would do something like on a daily basis until they get. So still reading, for example, my cousin or my nephew, he's a consistent person. He's the type of person that will get home 8 o'clock and will start reading 10 p.m. and would not stop until 2 every day for 1 year. Me, on the other hand, can't do shit like that.
Although I feel if it were me, I would do it, but like maybe I might have days off. I could do something. Because I'm not a schedule person.
I can't.
I don't like schedules.
I can't do that.
I like to live life. I've tried doing to-do lists.
You know what I would rather do? I'd rather wake up one morning and feel like, the sun is bright, it's a beautiful day. Let me read the entire day. So rather than do 10 to 2 a.m., I'll start at 10 a.m. in the morning and I won't stop until, say, 2 in the night. So that's the kind of person I am. And I'll do that today. I won't do it for 3 days. I'll do it the next day. I won't do it for 3 days. I'll do it the next day. So I'm an intense person. But it doesn't stop me from getting it done. So some people, they're intense for short periods of time. Oh, I'm going to do this. You start at 10 a.m., you stop at 11:15 and you go away.
Although you might not really know, because though you feel you might be intense, what if you try to break up that time small, like just 1 hour, 30 minutes?
I can't.
And see if you can.
I can't do it. I want to do more. So if I read for 1 hour, I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Like, motivation is still there.
What the fuck are you still doing?
Yeah.
Why can't you keep on working?
And again, I'm this kind of person where if I reach a milestone in something, I just feel like I slack. That's why I'm not big on goals. I hate goals because goals make me slack. If I have a goal and I reach a milestone, I would like just chill for a bit because I have this small sense of winning. If I feel like I've won,
done something,
like you get, I now like, oh, let me take that moment to chill, and then I now destroy the whole structure of what I was doing. That's why I'm not a goal person. I hate setting goals for myself.
So that's because you have small goals. What me I tend to do is, Busayo, let's finish this chapter today. And this chapter might be 70 pages of intense work to do. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And I wouldn't stop until I. Same way with gigs. Most of my gigs I finish overnight. Because at 11 o'clock or at 12 p.m., I'll drink 2 cans of Monster and I'll say, okay, Busayo, let's start. This is how I fool myself. Sorry, let's start. And once I start, I'll be telling myself, Busayo, you can't stop until you're done. You just can't stop. If it's 10 o'clock, if it's 6 a.m., if it's 5 a.m., I don't give a shit. Can't stop. You're done. And that's how I keep going. Then I look at the time. Look, I've spent the entire night and I'm not still done.
Yeah. Do you feel like 24 hours is short now? Because most times, like, I sometimes I feel like nights aren't even long enough anymore. Like, just you wake up, you're working. Yeah, you're working just now. It's 6.
Just look around like it's 6 a.m. Fuck, when is the time going to?
So I feel like although I might not understand that, but then it's just like you get lost when you're enjoying what you're doing.
Definitely. And that's another thing. You have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, but
you have to enjoy
that means a lot of people who might not enjoy some of the things I've introduced them to.
Exactly.
They have not.
That is another perspective. That's another perspective.
I know that because now you have to like explore and exploit.
And it's very weird when you try to fix that problem and tell your friend, oh, what do you like? And the person is like, oh, I need money. Anything that gives me money, I want to
exactly. This mentality of waiting the turn money in Nigerian youth, like they want to like, okay, so far is
the father is money.
But you know, I'm this kind of person like, even if it's money, I know I will not enjoy doing this thing. If I can do it, I'll do it. But like, I mean, if I not have high energy or I feel like it's not my thing, I will not like involve myself. Look at all my guys are they doing like trading Bitcoin and Forex or this thing. But like, I'm not that kind of person who wants to sit down. I have the capital to trade, but like, I don't want to like sit down and be doing it. It's not my thing. I don't want to do it. I don't enjoy. Yes. I tried starting it, but like, I don't want to do this thing. I can sit down to solve problems. I like to think. I like to think through problems. That's how I do my own things. That's the kind of things that make me excited. I don't want to be looking at charts.
I seriously think if people focus on the things they love. I have a friend who would do well if he started a sports podcast. Because that's the element. Mm-hmm. You'd see him talking about sports and you'd be like, okay, this guy knows the fuck about what he's saying. Mm-hmm. He understands what he's saying. But I tell him to start a podcast and he's like, it won't bring me money. Mm. But in the end, it's what you love that will bring you money.
Yeah. I feel not necessarily if what you love will not necessarily bring
what you
money.
Love will
because if you still don't know how to put it in front of people.
What you love.
Because people feel like if I make it, then they will listen. Or if I make it, they will come.
Give me something that, well, what you love and if you're good at what you love.
Well,
if you're not a shit, so if you like drawing, for example, and you're shit at drawing, you probably won't make money.
That is in the long term, though. Okay, currently now, in my own, let me tell you how I work. I love AI, I love machine learning. Yet, I've only gotten how many gigs for AI and machine learning stuff. Though that's what I love. I keep learning about it every day. I want to improve myself.
How good are you? On a global scale, how good are you? On a global scale, 1 to 10, how good are you?
On a global scale, I think I would be a mid-level developer by now. Or because
I'm saying on a scale of 1 to 10, but that's a global scale.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes.
As a machine learning engineer.
Yes.
Do machine learning engineering shit. I don't want to hype myself, but I'll probably just say 5 because that's why I want to put myself.
I'll say a big 3.
Maybe how good I guess. I guess.
But on a global scale, there's probably one Asian guy.
Yeah, exactly. The Asians. The Asians are crazy. But what was I talking about before you brought up? Okay, I was talking about how like I make websites.
Yes.
I don't enjoy it. Like
what brings you money?
But I can't do it. People look like yes, it's easiest way to make money. I mean, make a lot of money doing that, but like it's not what gives me vibe. I don't want to sit down all my life.
Okay, so learning machine learning, did it help you improve your website designing skills or?
I mean, it's still all programming, so you can still become a better programmer by being.
So hence my point, because you loved ML, you started programming. Because you started programming, you got this website gig.
Well, I guess I started making websites even before I started into.
Even before
AI.
You enjoyed programming.
I started making websites.
Is it before?
I enjoyed programming. I did not know I would be making websites. I just enjoyed programming. Okay, websites was my best
just
gig.
One tiny part of it, and it brings.
But now let's explore the Asian and the Russian.
You want to be racist now? I feel that.
I'm not. I don't want to be racist.
I feel like racist.
Dude, what fuck?
Before we go into this, there's this poem that Alex Friedman read on Joe Rogan's podcast.
My son.
It's my son. Yes.
Is it my son? Yeah. Kipling. Kipling is by Kipling.
Yes.
It's by
Kipling. The Russian.
Yeah. But he was a letter to his son.
That was
beautiful. It's called If.
Yes, if that is for his grandmother when his grandmother died.
So
it was beautiful.
Now, if I want to talk about the Russians and Asians, now competing at a global scale with them, I'll put myself.
You put yourself at a strong 3
or 2, in fact, because dude, what the fuck? Okay, now I was competing in one AI this day. We're teaching. We're basically what commission is basically developing RL algorithms for people reinforcement learning. RL algorithms that would learn how to play Minecraft. I don't know, everybody should know Minecraft. Minecraft is a game.
You collect stuff.
Yeah, you collect stuff. So, how could you teach a computer to play Minecraft?
I think I've seen that game.
Dude, see the Asians, and they just teamed up into one. Some guys in Shanghai, Hong Kong, Asian guys. I was 12 or 30 something. Leaderboard was 13, I was 12. So people are just submitting.
Wait, leaderboard was 13 and you were 12?
30 something.
Oh, okay.
Like 30 something, I was 12. But I still had like Russians and Asians to beat. I gave up because I didn't want to improve, because I just felt there's no amount of effort that I want to put it again. Well, I feel bad for giving up because I now later went down to like 15 again. Out there now, more people now, something like 38 or something. But though it's not a big deal, but I still feel like, how do we imbibe like going on in the future, like Nigeria, Africa wide?
So let me tell you the type of education you would need to build. You need to build a mass market type education. And that's market for the child of the market woman on the street. That's a startup for the child of a cobbler on the street. That's market for someone that is hawking on the street. How do you teach them?
But how do you put them in schools? Now, the problem is when you talk about when you put them in schools, is how do you make them stay in schools?
That's a government. It's only the government that can do that. There's no startup you can build. Well, I'm challenging every Nigerian that is listening.
Because this is an important problem. It's one of the biggest problems. If we are being honest,
it is the biggest problem.
If we could educate people, we now, because look at some of the enlightenment that happened.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Like Nigeria has not had any enlightenment.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Look at the enlightenment that happened in France, throughout Europe and France. Then, like people now try to critique things, and now we've not had any. I know people would think that what we have now, because people are saying things on Twitter that is enlightenment, but we don't have enlightenment on a massive scale at all.
Most Nigerians do. I heard it from someone, so I'm saying it. most people don't think in Nigeria, to be very honest. Most people don't have thoughts like, oh, I've thought this thing through and I can talk about it. Very little people have that.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people know that, oh, this is what this person said, so I can give you back, shofa knowledge. I've heard this person talk so much, so I can say the same thing to you.
Yeah.
However, what have you sat down to critically think about and express your own first-hand thoughts about? Not very much.
That's a big problem in itself, because I mean, because when we had like the French Enlightenment, I don't know, I'm French very low. Yeah, one of the best philosophers that has given us good ideas, like Foucault, like Descartes. Like, look at these guys; they were from French. They had Enlightenment. How could we create people that think?
So, what's the startup that teaches the woman on the street or how to train her child? Or what's the startup that teaches the child of a woman that is selling stuff on the street? Okay,
let's start like this. Let's say we've lost it for old generation. Let's say we've lost it. Let's say give up on them. I'm starting
with the young.
Now let's take children.
Yes, how would you teach the children?
We can put them in schools.
How?
Now we have to structure education system in a way where we don't encourage people to just cram.
So this is the thing. We're already moving to another stage. Before getting into schools, how would you get children on the streets to school?
Free education.
Think about the startup. That's a government thing. Government won't do shit for you.
Okay, now, if we say we want to operate on the startup level.
What's that startup?
Now, imagine if I was altruistic enough.
Yes.
And I have funding.
Yes.
Imagine I have.
Say Bill Gates wants to do it.
Imagine I'm Bill Gates. I'm Bill Gates. I have money.
Say Bill Gates has money.
Yes,
now
Bill Gates has money and he wants to do it now. Good, because he has money. He can wait long term.
How would he do it?
Now, long term investment is that I can build schools, do anything I want, put the best teachers there with my money.
Yes.
I'm not here making profit.
Yes.
With my money, this is long term project.
Yes.
Now, more people getting educated. More people getting skills. More people getting enlightened.
This is
in the long term. No. Like, do you know Lambda School?
Hold on. This is just building schools. You haven't gotten the girl on the street who is hawking money to get her family food to leave that hawking post and go to school. That's another problem. You have built schools, Abi.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get people who hawk to survive to go to school rather than hawk? You give them money, right?
No. Poverty is a problem. Now, now look at us now. We are saying we are trying to brainstorm how to heal education, but everything is linked back to poverty. You say you want to solve poverty. How can we solve poverty?
This is the main reason why I've given up on the country.
Like, we can't solve. Wow. This is a big problem. I feel like if we had like grand, like just the way the whites, they just put up big cash prize for people to brainstorm and bring out ideas, like a prize, like a big prize for this, like come up with ideas. We'll give you prizes. How do we solve poverty? How, like, efficient ways we solve education problems?
With the SDG thing that they're doing. They put up SDG goals, and if you're trying to solve the SDG goals, you get props for that. But in Nigeria, there's so many poor people that can't afford to go to school. They can't afford it, not in the sense of money to pay school fees, but in the sense of giving up time to go to school rather than trying to do something that will give you food for that day. So rather than trying to make money that day, you go to school. The opportunity cost of going to school is too much, because after you go to school, when you get back home, it's either you wouldn't have eaten or your family wouldn't have eaten. So say for example, they're giving free food in school. Okay, go to school, they're giving free food. There are some kids that still hawk to make money for the family. So if the child doesn't go out to hawk, her family would not eat. So how do you solve that problem? No, we started with education. So from education, we have now
moved back, because what I believe in is that there is a base problem. You get? Yes. Once you say there's a problem, if you don't solve the base problem, then you've not solved the problem. Now we've landed at the base problem. Now we don't even know whether poverty is the base problem. What is causing poverty? If something is causing poverty, that means poverty is not the base problem. Now we could say thieving, politicians, and corruption.
So I think the only way to solve Nigeria's problem is with the government. And since our government wouldn't do anything, we are fucked.
So I used to blame nature. Because the probability of you ending up in Nigeria is like 1/190 something.
Yeah.
So very slim. Look at it. I'm here.
You chose the fucking shortest.
So whoever is controlling this simulation rolled dice. Rolled dice and brought me here.
What's fucking possible state? Nigeria is like top. The last 4 or 5 countries that you could be. They're like just 4 countries that are worse than Nigeria in the center world. It's shit. I went to Ghana recently for my exam and I drove through Benin. And it looked good from outside. So when we're driving through Benin, there's just this one giant road that leads from this border to the other border. And the road was perfect. No pothole. 1 or 2 potholes. Tiny. The road was perfect. And I was like, yeah. Benin. That was the first time I was seeing Benin. I was like, this is good. Then we went to the hinterlands and there were farms where you could see proper farming techniques. Just by looking at it, you'd be like, oh, these people know what the fuck they're doing. You can see properly demarcated land, to see proper irrigation systems. I was like, oh, maybe there's hope in Benin, even if there's no hope in Nigeria. Then I drove past. Then when I was coming, I was driving again, and I was like, oh, apart from this main road, let me look at the adjacent roads and see how good they are. Not one was good. Not one. So it was like PR. That's good. One road that connected one end to the other.
Yeah.
It was like good PR.
Yeah.
So if you're just passing through it once, you'll be like, this thing makes sense, because you wouldn't take note of the adjacent roads. But once I came back, I was looking at it and I was like, this is actual shit. So let's discount this one good road that you have. What other things are in this country? And there wasn't much.
No. I think as you're talking now, this just brings me, because while I was saying this thing this afternoon, you're laughing. This just brings me to what I said I saw today. I saw actual people building, like people had these wood houses in the sea. People, even apart from those guys that are living in the sea, that are putting like racks on this thing just so that for movement. I saw, like, I thought I've seen a ghetto before. Like, this was like ghetto. Like, I wanted to ask my driver if people, I wanted to like, boss, do people actually live here?
Fuck yeah,
like, it was like a slum. I don't know if
slum.
Like, why? How would it be for, like, do they have lights? Do they have water?
That's the only thing they know. Think about it from that angle. You've grown up your entire life in that piece of shit. You don't know anywhere else. You don't know there's somewhere like here. Well, you've heard about it. You've heard stories about it. You've heard stories about it. So if you grew up there and all your life, that's where you have been going, you have been sleeping in that piece of shit, waking up in that piece of shit. You don't know anything better. You don't know there's a room and apartment in Yaba that is fancy. You don't know all those things. That's the only thing you know. So think about it from that perspective. People are so poor that they can't think of a better way to live. And thinking is even useless, because, okay, after you've thought about it, what would you do about it? Would you pack your bag and go and live there? I think
when people like us say we are thinking, I think it's just like a privilege. That you have the privilege to say you are thinking.
Definitely. Giant privilege. It's So another thing is, have you gone through Sam Harris's Waking Up? You haven't gone through Sam Harris's Waking Up podcast?
Like I've only a few of them because I've gone through the introductory course and some other conversations.
So there's this thought experiment that they carried out where they told you to think about an ideal place. So what's an ideal place for you? Everybody's happy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. There are games, there's fun, there's music, there's sex if you want, there's drugs if you want, anything that makes you happy. Do all that, but there's a catch. The catch is, amidst all this happiness, in one dirty, stinking, slimy room, there's a small child who is suffering, who has sores on their body, who doesn't eat anything more than one dirty, soggy meal just to keep him alive. Just one child. That is the cost of everybody's happiness. Without that child, nobody would know the meaning of happiness because there's nothing to compare it with. So that child is the only bad thing with your ideal city. And everybody in that city knows about the child. It's not that it's a secret. When you're growing up, maybe when you're 4 or 5, you would go and look at the child. But you can't help. You can only see the child. Would you help the child?
Definitely.
You would have the urge to help.
Because if I always help people if I feel like it won't take anything from me at all to help. So definitely. That was because maybe I would say I'm partly altruistic in nature, I guess.
Alright. So you would help the child?
I would. Definitely.
So there are millions of people suffering in Nigeria. How many have you helped?
I mean, I've helped people gain skills.
No, I'm saying millions of people
like literally give them money.
No, I'm saying suffering. How have you helped people that are suffering?
Like people, well, I've not done any kind of outreach.
That all around you, know that, right?
Yeah, I've not done any kind of outreach, but like if someone begs me for money, I'll say, okay, yes, it could take. But like, I've not like say, okay, I want to this is what I'm going out to do full time. Let me do an outreach to help people.
But in that ideal city, you didn't hesitate before you said yes.
I think that was because I felt
more connected to that one person.
Apart from that, I felt I've solved the problem. Since he's the only person, then I've solved the problem. Well, if I give you bread today as a poor suffering person, there are millions of suffering people. I can't even help change your life to the extent where you might feel like you're satisfied. So I've not solved any problem. I've only helped you for a time being.
Let's go back to that thought experiment. I think Sam Harris was trying to do something else about how people live and forget about people that are suffering around them. Yeah. But me, I thought about it from another perspective. Without that child, say for example, you went and you helped that child, and the child was as happy as every other person in that city. Yeah. Then, in that very moment, nobody is happy.
Why?
Because nobody knows what it is to be sad.
Yeah. When you think about it now, it makes total sense.
Yes.
If there was no sadness, then that means there's clearly no happiness. Because it exists because of the binary.
Yes.
So if there was no binary, then then you can forget about any kind of state.
Yes.
It means you're just there.
Yes.
You're just existing.
Yes.
So then, how would you now relate to someone's suffering?
So would you still help the child if takes away the binary?
Now, it depends on if I grew up in that setting and I don't know what suffering is. I don't have a memory of
you grew up and you saw the child, and that child is the only explanation of suffering. But if you help,
I'm saying that, okay, now I understand.
If you help the child, everybody would forget about that child suffering, and there wouldn't be anything like suffering. Yeah. And by definition, there wouldn't be anything like happiness.
Yeah.
Would you still do it?
I thought about a problem with that statement now because the problem is from what I replied you. I said I will help. I might not necessarily help because years and years of the social conditioning on that place of seeing we know that guy. They could even say is just like what Yuval Harari was trying to say in Sapiens, is like the stinking, impure person.
Yes.
You don't need to go near him.
Yes.
Like, okay, nobody has done this. No, like my ancestors never bothered to help this kid, so why should I?
Exactly. But you were so quick to say yes, though.
Maybe I didn't think it through. but I just because saying yes is like problematic because you just okay, maybe because I have a memory of being good or this. But if my forefathers and if we grew up, we knew that nobody ever helped that person, then why would I?
You won't think of that child as a stingy child.
Yes.
I like thought experiments like that.
Yeah.
When I heard it, I was like, no, I wouldn't help the child. When I first thought about it, my first reaction was no. And my explanation was, if I help the child, in that moment, nobody would know the meaning of suffering, and therefore, you wouldn't appreciate your happiness.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that takes away from everybody and adds to just one person.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I want us to talk about.
Yeah, I think I'm off Twitter. With the Reels thing that they're doing now, I have a hard time.
Oh, you have Reels? I don't use Twitter for mobile. I don't install Twitter on my phone.
Yeah, I just did.
I just like use it on my web browser, log out when I'm done. Yeah. So that I just do, because when you're lying down on the bed, you don't have the impulse to, because scrolling, yes, because I found that scrolling gives me headache.
Scrolling is one thing.
Scrolling just.
Have you watched stories on IG? That shit never ends.
I don't even do that because now I'm back on IG. I was not on IG. Now I'm back on IG. I'm just trying to push dumb content and see if I could gain a follow.
Oh my god. I open my IG and first thing I do is instinctively click on the story.
Why?
I don't stop. I
never click on stories except for people who I just feel, okay, one or two people who I know personally.
For me, it's monkey see, monkey do. I haven't used IG in a long while, but I recently downloaded it after my exam, and the first thing I did was to click on a story, and that took 2 hours of my wow. You just click on it, and that's the end of your next 2 hours because it never stops.
I just have this thing in my brain. telling me I'm wasting time. So
obviously.
If I tell myself, because that's why I leave tabs open, just so I could know I have shit to do.
Sometimes you forget yourself. Sometimes when you're lying in your bed, it's so
exactly. It's easy to just scroll.
It's so comfortable.
And though I know that most times when I lie on my bed scrolling, it's just because I lack energy to walk.
And you scroll, and from UFC to go to Real Madrid, and Madrid to go to something you like, and it just keeps on going and keeps on going. And you know that these people have done their work.
Yeah.
They have done their work to keep you on the app.
Yeah.
And after the story is finished, you have that feeling that, okay, let me log out, but you haven't even done what you came here to do.
Yeah, I think that's why I now say that we are no longer, the app is no longer the product. You are the product.
Yeah, definitely.
You're now the
especially
product.
When anything you're paying for, because you're using for free. You're definitely.
Because they know what you like now. As they keep you hooked, they now know what you like. They now know what to push to you.
Yeah, definitely. They know what they can advertise.
But I think what I was gunning for when I said Twitter was like the culture. The culture and the conversations are happening.
What dragged me to that IG thing was because of the Reels.
Yeah.
When Twitter didn't have Reels, I was having problems staying off Twitter. And now that it has Reels, definitely going to be a problem for me. So maybe I'll do what you do and just stick to web.
Because, Twitter is addictive because it's addictive in the sense that you want to see. I don't know. Maybe it's just for me. I just like to see what people are saying, want to see their thoughts. What is the conversation that's happening presently?
I think where we saw the beauty of Twitter was during this NSAS thing. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, and it made me think about how our parents were fed information.
Yes.
Because the only thing they had was local media and newspaper, and we have clearly seen that all those things are biased.
So, now, another thing I thought about is because during NSAS, because when we look at Twitter, I used to mock my parents for liking news.
Yes.
So I now say that I'm not any different from them. We are not different from them because they just wanted to be up to date. Yes. That's the same thing we are on Twitter for.
Exactly the same.
It's just that it's a more easier medium and
a less corrupt medium.
Yes, yeah. It's just there's this human thing of wanting to be up to date, wanting to know.
Yes.
Wanting to have information.
Yes.
It's the same, but that was the only medium they have.
Yes.
News and newspapers. Yes. So that thought just came to me that I'm not any different from them who just wanted to know. Or why would I sit down 1 hour and listen to network news by 9 p.m.? Like, I felt that was dumb. But like now, I'm like, okay, now I'm scrolling through Twitter.
And it's literally the same thing.
Yes.
Well, not literally, but it's almost the same thing.
But I think now, because I'm interested in like how we would go forward. Maybe Twitter NG. No, not just Twitter NG, like broadly Twitter, like cancel culture and I think some of the conversations that are happening.
I think one thing I hate about the evolution of Twitter is how everybody is now short-fused. Any small thing is upsetting. Every small thing is an insult. Every small thing is an aggressive
microaggression. Because when we now look at it, if you are worried about how about macroaggressions? Like
that's something you could do. You man up.
Wait. We are now worried about microaggressions. Like seriously.
When Twitter started, it was a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
It was a war zone. Because one of the earliest memories of Twitter I have is going to see tweet fight, going to watch tweet fight. And it was fun. Now that I say it looks like, I went to the street and I was watching people fight and I enjoyed it. But the fact that everybody could come out and say exactly what they wanted to say, and the fact that if you said shit, someone would check you, it made it fun. This person is clearly saying something shit. Someone will check the person.
Yeah.
And the person will not check it like, excuse me, The person will come out and straight out drag you and say you're saying shit. And that evolved from checking people to everybody checking themselves.
Yeah.
To
everybody now being an activist.
Everybody now pushing one propaganda or the other. And now it's just fucking irritating.
That's why most people now, I now browse Twitter through list. I just follow a limited amount of people.
Yeah.
And now have lists of people I want to follow. I mean, I just, maybe when I'm interested in seeing what's happening in that space, I click that list because everybody wants to just push something to you, and I don't want to be hooked on that thing. I want to feel like I'm in control. I like having control.
I think people pushing propaganda is a fundamental thing of life. Because people are self-absorbed. Well, innately everybody is selfish, so to an extent everyone is self-absorbed, and that will make you have a story to tell or a propaganda to push, and depending on your will, you're going to push it. Or not even depending on your will, everybody is going to push a certain propaganda because they have some self-interest or the other that is related to this propaganda. And since everybody has self-interest, they should have propaganda.
Yeah, and that relates to everything. Any kind of alliance on Twitter or any kind of thing that, even if for the good cause.
Yeah, I think it's just normal.
Because when I think about people now, let me talk about oppression. Oppression, like people who talk about oppression on Twitter.
Yeah.
When you think of, even in societal view, like oppression on a broad scale now, women, gay, straight,
Yes.
Like black people at color, all this racism, all this kind of
oppression.
Now, when we talk about oppression in the broad scale, and people who fight for oppression, people who make money from fighting for oppression, do you think they want oppression to end? Because I make money from fighting for oppression. Do you think I want oppression? Like, I will manufacture problems wherever they are so that I could make money. So I try to rationalize this that that's why most things don't even trigger me these days. I like when I see people, even though I know you are fighting for a good cause, I know you still have something. There's
an agenda. Somewhere.
Yes, there's an agenda you're trying to push, so that because you are trying to manufacture problems that on the grand scheme of things, they don't really matter.
The tricky part is some of those problems are actually legit. That's the tricky part. That regardless of someone fighting to end oppression and benefiting from it, there's actually the problem of oppression that needs to be
exactly.
So that's where it gets mixed up. Oh, I want to fight oppression. Oh, another person is making money from it. Oh, can I make money from it? Oh, this is...
Yeah. Your activists these days are rich. I mean, when you look at history, some of our true altruistic... Your activists are rich on Twitter.
How many?
No, like, I don't want to mention names here, but I mean...
Mention fucking names. Mentioning names.
Your activists these days are rich.
Mention names.
They're making money off what they are doing. I'm not going to be forced to mention it, but look at people like Gandhi. We read about who truly were activists and changed things.
You know Gandhi was a shit person.
Yeah.
You know he was a racist.
How? I never knew that. Was that in his biography?
Yeah, so there are rumors that he was a racist. He was racist to black people, I guess.
Oh. Well, Gandhi himself was black.
Yeah.
So how...
No, I don't know.
Even people like my guy, Martin Jr.
I'm not sure, but we should check that.
Yeah. Because I don't want to make any generalizations.
Yeah, but I think there's one giant flaw about Gandhi. Yeah. I think it's racism that's a giant flaw.
Oh. Well, people have flaws, though. That I can't.
Obviously.
That's why I feel like we couldn't. That's why I feel like the cancel culture might not be efficient.
See Alex Jones, for example.
Yeah.
Him being cancelled is useless. It's not useless. It's stupid. Because some of what this guy says is extreme. A lot of things he says are extreme. But in the end, he says some things that are actual fruits. Like 100% the truth. And when you cancel someone completely, you cancel everything. Plus the truth, plus the propaganda.
They just deplatformed that guy.
They did. But it has a website now.
Yeah.
It has a website. I haven't been. Because I don't want to...
Why I feel like people like Alex Jones, why I like people like them is that they have this child's mind of because the kind of things we used to, not only so, like the things we used to talk about, like just wild things. When you hear Alex Jones, it's like a child talking. Child just like manufacturing thoughts and like he's manufacturing imaginations of things that could happen, or like if you see him analyze some things, like it's just like a child talking about some intergalactic this talking about how they went for this and how.
I think everybody's voice is important enough to be heard.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you stand.
And this is my own problem, because if you are, as an activist, are fighting for people who are unheard, and you're not trying to make people unheard, because you are basically you are basically trying to like deplatform people, hate on people. Because you are saying we should not hate people. You are saying we should not devoice people, but this is what you are doing.
Okay, let's go to another thing. So completely out of the topic we're speaking about, there's a recent problem that I'm having. A number of friends of mine invested in a fund. So because they trusted the guy who was managing the fund, most of them put money without asking. And there's this group chat that everybody's in, and the guy is in the group chat. And there's this sub-group chat for only the people who invested. So apparently, something is wrong. Nobody knows where their money is. They ask on this subgroup, and they're getting bullshitted. Nobody's giving them the real answer. So a lot of people are upset. on this subgroup. And an easy way to escalate is to bring it to the main group and say, oh, nobody should put their money in that shit because we tried it and they're giving us shit now. And I have spoken. No, I think that's the proper thing to do.
Yeah, sure.
To escalate it, let everybody see that this thing is shit. Because a new person might want to join and will just go straight into the fund. And I think that's the normal thing to do. So I ask people in the fund that, okay, what are you doing about it? And they don't say anything. I put a couple of money, I invested for some months. After that, they were giving us bullshit. So I just said, I'm no more doing it again. I told the first person, second person, third person. I just said, I'm no longer doing it again. What about the money you invested before? I've left it for injuries. No. You guys claim to be finance people. You guys should be accounting. You guys are accountants. You guys are letting someone not be accountable for your own money. It was crazy. For me, from my perspective, no finance person should allow that to happen. But I asked I asked 5 people in the group, and they all said, I've left it for him, I've forgotten about it. And it brings me to Nigerians not escalating things. And I don't want to just say escalating.
Right.
Not being able to stand up and fight. So we say that we are Sorosuke generation, but if it comes to only you standing up and saying, this shit is wrong, most Nigerian youth would shy away from it.
In that context, for them, I would say they were ashamed of themselves. And maybe they had some pride that they didn't want to, just like the way you tackled them. That being ashamed and they don't want that pride of them being people who were thought to be this kind of people, so that people now start like, so you too could get scammed. I think it's that kind of
the
pride.
The thing is, the person that scammed them, and I'm saying scammed with apostrophe, the person that scammed them is the creator.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't really scam. Because they might listen to this.
It's just like a mismanagement.
No, it's not even mismanagement. It's that nobody is telling them what is wrong with their money.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to talk about where the money or what is happening to the money. And everybody's just there. I'm like, bro, even if I put 5,000 naira and we are claiming to be finance people and we are claiming to be all good. The foundation of finance is accounting. You should be accountable for every money that comes in. Please, where is that accountability now? Everybody is mute. And that is one of the reasons why I've given up on Nigeria. Regardless of how many people would stand up when someone has already stood up, there are very few people that would stand up for themselves when nobody is standing up first.
Now, first of all, that my own thought of pride might work, but like now in the broad sense of like what you were saying about nobody standing up for themselves.
Yes.
Where nobody has stood up for them.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's just this sense of weakness that people have. Just this sense, I think it's a general thing, not like in Nigeria. Like if I felt like I was now, I know people who have championed a one-man cause and they won. But like it's not like an everyday thing where someone will stand up and champion a one-man cause and he win. So people just feel like, look at it's just like a war mentality.
No, I think
war mentality if I'm going against so many people.
I think people are not aggressive enough. I think people like status quo too much. So you like everything to be peaceful. But sometimes you need to escalate shit.
Yeah, that's interesting because when I think about people who have brought real change, especially people in any kind of community, like in the feminism community or the gay community, how they've progressed. So people who gave tough time.
None of them were gentle. Why do you want to be gentle? Except Gandhi. Gandhi was pretty.
Gandhi and
Gandhi
and Martin Luther, they believed in
Martin Luther wasn't
in being
peaceful.
friends.
He wasn't really a peaceful person.
but they believed in doing things like in an ordered way.
Yes, without hurting other people. Yeah.
But I feel like some people who have brought true revolution. Why am I saying true revolution? Because I think just the examples of big revolutions, maybe like in the feminism movement, the gay rights and trans rights.
Fidel Castro and Ernesto Che.
What is?
In Cuba.
Cuba
Revolution.
Yeah.
These are real-time rebels
who fought for their country, who legit fought for their country.
Now, I would hit them in the sense that from bit of Cuba history I know that it was not really good.
It didn't end
well.
It was
just
end well. Doesn't mean it wasn't good for the country in general.
Yeah.
Now they
are taking criminals, giving asylum to criminals.
Before they were giving out criminals to America.
I see people who I want dead.
What?
It's this woman from the Black Panther movement, as the early Black Panther movement. Asata Shakur, she's like one of the women who have made top 10 FBI.
You want her dead?
Not like maybe I want, but like she committed a huge crime.
What?
She killed a police officer. She deserves to pay for that crime.
She committed a crime.
Yeah, she not only killed one. I think she killed more than one person. That's why she's in the top 10. She made.
Currently,
she's one of the women who have made that list.
Currently,
Asata Shakur.
Oh.
She was in the Black Panther. Well, the Black Panther movement was really full of violence.
I don't think people should be afraid of violence. People are too afraid of violence. That's a bad thing to a certain extent.
So we were talking about something recently.
Yes.
Okay, you were giving an analogy of how people don't stand up for themselves in first.
Yes.
They have to wait. They have to wait for other people to. But I think that's just a base woman thing. I mean,
I was ashamed. I was largely ashamed of a number of people in that scenario. Ashamed because sometimes you give respect to people up to a point where it doesn't make sense. So you respect this guy a lot up to the point that something is not right and you know that something is not right. But you can't speak because of that respect.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. I think it's something. It's an inherent. No, it's not inherent. It's like from socialization, how we were brought up.
Not to fuck up.
Yes, because now when I look at my relationship with my younger brother, I'm trying to create that space where if I'm wrong, point it out. Yes, you could point it out to me. Don't allow me. I ask him for his advice in certain things. I like to talk to children, like make them feel that. It's one of, I think that's how, because when you treat people as they are not important, they have.
Yes.
So
the Nigerian culture teaches children to shut up.
Yeah, to show them, like, I know I grew up like that.
Yes, definitely.
People, like, as a child who had opinions.
Yes.
I have opinions. Like, what do you think you know, sir? Go and sit down. Yes, but, like, I want to hear what you have to say. Tell me. I could critique what you have.
You're going to raise your child any different?
I've thought about my relationship with my younger brother. I feel this is the same. I feel like I'm even a father. Because he's the only person that talks. He talks to me. He calls me on the phone and tells me that there's nobody to talk to at home. There are like, how many people at home to talk to? Like 5 people. You have 5 people to talk to at home, but you still have to call me and say and tell me that, Jude, I want to talk to you. There's nobody to talk to. Yeah. So I feel like, yes, since we've created that safe space, is that safe space that people don't create.
So is that safe space that you're going to create for your child?
Yes, the safe space I didn't have with my dad or my mom.
What if your child doesn't want to talk to you?
Well, I think it's just because, I mean, why if I treat my
it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible because no matter how hard you try, right?
Exactly. So maybe when your child is growing from 1 to 12, 13, you guys are best friends.
Yeah.
Then when puberty starts, your child might not want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And you might want your child to talk to you and do certain things that will make your child not want to talk to you more.
Yeah.
So you might want to push, and all that pushing might just push your child away. So it's very difficult. And it's easy to blame your parents. It's easy to say your parents didn't raise you right.
In my own case, I'll blame my parents. My dad is trying to be friends with me. Well, I'm big now. Like, but bro, you were not friends with me. Like, you shut me down while I was growing up.
Same thing here.
Yeah, you shut me down while I was growing up. Why are you trying to be pals and tell me I'm not having conversations with you? You never created that space where we could have any conversation.
But what if that's the only way he knew?
Look, my dad didn't have a father. His father died before, like, when he was still, like 1 year, like they say, he didn't know his father at all. Maybe I could suspect that was why he does not know how. I will not blame him. He loves, like, I know this person loves you. He will do anything for you. But your dialogue with me is just basically a monologue. We are never having a conversation. You get that? It's a monologue.
You say it like it is peculiar to you. That's the exact same thing I had with my dad.
Yeah.
We don't talk about stuff. He tells me stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't. He doesn't.
Exactly.
He doesn't speak with me. He talks to me.
Like, you understand? Look at the dance we are having now.
Yes.
Yeah, just like how Joe Rogan says, it's a dance. Yeah. You could critique what I'm saying. I could critique what we are having a dance. It's a conversation.
Not with Nigerian well, not with most Nigerian fathers.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it could be, if we create that space for children to hear. You need to feel like they are important, that ideas matter.
I feel it's going to be difficult raising a child.
Why?
For me, especially.
Well, basically, me, I don't even want to have any kind of long-term shit that might result in having children. Maybe I will live my life in like a monk somewhere.
So, for me especially, number one with religion. So, what will I tell my child about it? This is something I've been thinking about.
Yeah. See, okay, now, when you think about religion, I think this is good. This is because I know maybe my younger brother knows my stance because I try to be open. I know my parents know that I'm not really deep into like I just like I grew up in.
So you're even ashamed to say it.
I mean, when I go to Abuja, I want to have a place to stay, right? But like. I know I could live on my own. I thought about living on my own and do but like I mean even when I left home, I feel bad for my younger brother because you just feel bad like this guy needs you.
Yes.
He needs you to develop his mind. So not like I mean he figures things out, but like I figured my own shit out, but then like it took you years to like move from this to this, but like you could shorten that time span for them.
So why I say it's really difficult for me to explain religion to myself because I'm a young son.
Yeah.
And I remember one day he came to me and he asked me, "Brother Papi, is God real?"
Okay. See something. Now, look at you indoctrinate people into like religion. You now make them feel that is the meaning of life, that they don't have a life of their own. You get that this is my world. No, I'm trying to rush because we had this conversation on voice note where you sent me a literal podcast. So listen to.
So the thing is, there is an upside to that. There's an upside to making a child believe certain things. Yeah. Because that builds up his morals and that makes him a better person.
Now this is an interesting convo. Do we feel that religion should be a basis for morals?
It is.
No. This is what Sam Harris debates about. This is what Sam Harris debates.
Whether we feel or not, in Nigeria, it definitely is a basis.
No, not in Nigeria. I feel like you could even just use natural human instincts as basis for morals. Do me nice, I do you nice. Don't do me bad, I don't do you bad. I mean, this is like just the founder. It's just binary. This is like all kind of morals for I'm not really a big fan of moral relativism, but like most morals just boils down to this binary: do me nice, I do you nice. So, could we not live like that?
It's difficult to teach a child that without religion. I think that's where religion helps. So, for me,
it's because you're scared to have this open, honest, deep conversation. Like, the conversations could be hard, but when you just shield it that God in heaven will not be proud of you if you don't do this. You get, it's just a shield. Okay. I understand that.
Would you want to go deep and tell a 6-year-old that you don't really understand?
Okay. See
you don't really understand God.
Although I know
you can't really explain shit. And you tell a 6-year-old that and you expect him to understand your level of faith.
Okay, now there are problems in my own thoughts. Let me point them out. There are problems in my own thoughts because God is good in the metaphorical sense. The metaphorical sense that Baba in heaven, will treat your fuck up. Will not allow you to come into the beautiful gates if you don't behave well. You get. I know, I understand. That is perfect. That is like, it will make me want to live my life. Or when you indoctrinate him into, like, why not like just be open from start?
I think another thing is fear. When fear starts to rule that conversation, that if you fuck up, you're going to go to hell. If you do this, if you don't pay your tithe, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, that's where another problem starts to arise. And it's a form of shutting people up also. Listen to your parents, listen to your pastor, don't question them. Those things keep on shutting children up.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be difficult to raise a child.
No, I feel we could figure this shit out because you're arguing religion as a basis for morals.
What would you tell your child when he comes to ask you if God is real?
If he comes to tell me,
if he comes to ask you,
I'll first ask him.
I'm like, I want.
Now this is ask me as a child.
Daddy, I went to school today and we were talking about God. Is God real?
Who told you that?
My classmate.
What was the context of the conversation?
Someone was arguing that Satan is better than God. And I said, I don't know who God is because my parents haven't told me about God. So that is God.
So now, I will now explain things to him in the sense that, you see, that's like now you are trying to push me into a labeled position. I told you that I'm not now. You're trying to out me now. This conversation we're having will out me now.
Do you think a child can ask you that question?
Yeah, he could. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm asking you, what's your answer to that?
Okay. It's
so
not like
you're scared to even say.
I'm not scared. Okay, I'm not scared. But you have to like frame it in a way that for a child's mind.
So you for example.
Sure. Let me cut this shit out. Yeah.
So you for one.
Oh, Judy, answer your question on how.
Before you answer.
Yeah.
I would like to state that you're not comfortable sharing your thoughts. Is that true?
Definitely.
Why?
I have thoughts, I have opinions on how I think, but I don't want to feel like I'm creating this space where people come to be indoctrinated into what I think. These are just my opinions.
Who is making you feel like someone will get indoctrinated just by listening to your conversation?
I guess. That's what I think.
Your younger brother, for example.
Yeah, that guy listens to my podcast.
Okay. And you don't want him to believe the same thing you believe in?
I want him to find shit out for himself.
What is
because at the end of the day, if you believe, it's not bad. I just doubt. I did not say I know, but I just doubt. If you believe, it's not a bad thing. If it works for you, I know there are a lot of rational people I know that they believe, and they are very, very rational when you have come but they believe. But I mean, if you believe, it's not a bad thing.
So I have the perfect answer to this religion. No, I have the perfect response to this religion thing. I once asked somebody what his religion was, and his answer to that was that he had a problem with faith.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I have a problem. I doubt. In fact, I wanted to say it on my WhatsApp that the person was, I was like, dude, don't stop asking, because, you know, a lot of people see why, right?
Yes.
Like, what's your stance? People ask me, what's your stance? Like, I have a problem. That's what I had this conversation with my girlfriend, like, because she's a big church girl. Like, she's like deeply religious. So
Yes.
I want to know, because I wanted to like tell her early. You get, if it's going to be a problem for you, fine, I don't know, but like, this is me. I doubt I have a big problem. I find time believing what they tell me or what I read in the Bible.
You find it hard.
I find it hard to believe. I know you guys believe. Say this is the word for you and this is how it is. But like, I doubt that.
They believe because they don't have a problem with faith. But because faith is, they believe in things that are not, something fancy like that.
They believe?
They have faith, so they can believe in things that they don't see. Things that you see, and you can't take your eyes
Religion
off.
is a cover. It's a cover for you to shield yourself from reality. Look at most religious people, God to take care of it. To work out. My brother believes. You understand? Those kind of things. It's a cover for you to escape from reality. Like, for me, I know it's not good to be a very thorough reality, because then you will not like be able to fantasize about, when you're not idealistic a bit, you'll not be able to think through, okay, we could create spaces for, there's like thorough realist, you just believe in rigid, this is how it should be.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not that kind of person who's a thorough realist, but I still feel like, yes, I'm realistic and I want to be realistic, I want to be grounded in reality. That means I have to remove that cover of religion.
Is it awkward to talk about it?
It's awkward because I feel like maybe I'm scared of being judged for what I believe in. Not like what I believe or what I think.
So this conversation is too intimate for a podcast, because you've clearly had this conversation with your girlfriend.
Yes, I just told her.
But you don't want every other person to know because because
when you start, because for me, when I say I doubt, I'm not that kind of person who will come online and start telling people this, that I'm an atheist, that religious people are dumb. No, I hate this kind of thing. Believe, don't believe. Feel like we could all exist.
Yeah.
Why you don't harm me with your own belief? Just like, that's why I still feel like
the core basis of religion.
Yeah, so far you don't harm me what you believe. Fine, believe what you want to believe. People believe in this Greek mythology. People live their lives based on Greek mythology.
And to think about it, the core of every religion is still down to do unto others what.
Yeah. You see, that's why I say because when you talk about religion as a basis for morals, then I mean you can live without it.
That's the core of the belief.
Don't do to somebody what you wouldn't want the person to do to you, and everybody will be fine.
We talked about religion now, which I know now. I don't even know my. I don't want to be out about what I believe.
The main fact that you're thinking about it like you're out, like this was one giant secret, and people will judge. I don't think people will judge you as much as you think. Well, it depends on where you stand. Most of my friends knew that I have problems with faith, and most of them have just accepted me. My mom has practically given up on me. My sisters, So I used to have this fight with my family. I used to have this fight with my family every Christmas or every New Year. So the crossover from New Year, Christmas to New Year, or 31st to New Year. When I was with my sisters, they would want to go to church. And I'm like, fuck that, I'm staying inside. And it used to be a big fight.
Although now, even though I will tell you I still like it, because it was more like, it's like tradition. It's just like tradition to just go out to experience crossing over to like the New Year. But I still like it, not in the sense that maybe I could not even necessarily be just like tradition, just stand there, experience.
And I never want to go. And it used to cause a big fight with my sisters and my aunt. Like a big fight. There was one time I remember my aunt was like, she's going to take me regardless. And we drove all the way to church and I didn't get out of the car. And I was just in the car. And it caused a big fight. It spoiled the new year. All the celebrations, I had to go. And next year, something similar happened. And the year after that, they just left me alone in the house.
Yeah,
and that's how I put my stance that I'm not going to let that happen to me. But I think I was going somewhere with this. If people understand where you're coming from, they wouldn't judge you as much. If they understood that you just have problems believing in some certain things, they wouldn't judge you.
You're forgetting the fact that Christians try to tell you they are right. Christians are always right. They are right.
Muslims? Do you think
Muslims don't try to sell you
their religion?
Yes, but Christians just try to push it on your face every time that they are the perfect thing, they are right. They like try almost every Christian tries to convert you. They like try to like, okay, you tell them, oh, you believe the wrong thing. Christ has not ministered to you. Like, you're like, you understand? They want like, you will soon be touched. Or like, you will soon be like, like the voice will soon speak to you. You understand?
Yeah,
and,
I do.
Like, that's Christians for you. They just have this I know, go into the world and multiply.
Yeah,
God gave them that order. Spread the word or something.
It's a personal mission to convert.
You understand? They just feel this personal need to convert you or to try to evangelize.
And sometimes that drives towards harassment and
exactly.
You get to do it too much, and then I'm uncomfortable whenever you're around, and it hurts. And it's even more difficult for someone like you, because when someone comes and tries to convert you, you wouldn't be able to speak on your stance.
Yeah, I don't even I just just go like I don't, because I don't want to debate you, because I don't. Although these debates are good if I wanted to engage in them, because then it will increase my argument. I'll have good arguments for next time.
I always want to argue.
Because
always. You come to me and I'll give you things I don't understand. And I'll see you argue up to a point where you cannot argue anymore, and you tell me to just have faith and believe in some certain things. And I'll tell you that is the problem I have. Having faith and closing my eyes and just believing in something.
When I was having that conversation with my girlfriend, I told her I mentioned all the things to her that could be listed as things, like as problems in the world, as problems that she could be facing or people are literally facing. That you mean that we've been praying about this, a whole generation of people, the men and women before me, have talked to God about this. My medieval ancestors have prayed, binded, and casted, and nothing happened. But nothing happened. But God is more interested in what I do when I'm naked. That's
Do you know the perfect sequel to this conversation? You having a religious person on the podcast. When I say religious, I mean someone is really religious.
I'll really get tired of the conversation because I know
because you're not.
Because I don't want to debate that person. I just like
you don't.
I just want to like shut you down, tell you facts, and make you stupid. I will not like debate you. I will like just tell you so that.
So the way you do it, you open your mind to actual things. That's the only way to do it. Because that's the only way to be practical. That's the only way to let me understand what you're trying to say. And the person will come and tell you how. Or the person will come and convince you how Christianity is the best religion.
Because even now, when you think about human,
you have to have an open mind to listen. That's one thing that you understanding your belief sometimes gets you clouded. It gets your mind clouded, and you don't want to have an open mind. And I remember this
I had a friend in part 2, Busayo, who was trying to make me a better Muslim. And he said something like, be mindful or your heart will turn to stone. Or something. It was a Quran passage or something. It hit me hard. Because at that point I was like, this religion shit I'm not doing. It's bullshit. I'm not doing. Then he said, be mindful or your heart will turn to stone. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe it's time for me to start listening. And I started listening, and it was pretty much the same. I didn't get the answer I wanted.
Yeah.
But every time that conversation comes up, I'm always open-minded. I'm like, okay, maybe this is the time someone would say something that will change my mind.
Now, what I want, because what I'm really interested in, because I study, because I try to I try to ask myself why I believe what I'm believing and why people believe what they're believing. So why do you think the way they're one thing there? And when you see people let me take a man in his literal, maybe like sisters.
Yes.
Who sits you down, talks to you about how God is everything, that you should not take God for granted. He tell you he deeply believes that this is my existence, is to serve God. So what created that? What can create that kind of thinking where you don't even doubt that, or where you are just because do I don't understand that? Because if you read Thomas Nagel's book on what is it like to be a bar? Now it's just trying to what is it like to be in the head of someone? What is this person's what is the bad consciousness? So now I'm just trying to say, what is this person's consciousness? How does he see the world? How does he see the world that you could just, because for me I feel okay, I'm sitting down like this, I have a bit of clarity. I don't know if I have but at least I could see, at least I have a bit of clarity.
You think you have a bit of clarity?
Maybe because I could see things okay, this is what, and this might be bullshit, but
you're not even sure whether you're in the simulation or not.
Well,
and you're talking about clarity.
well, I feel but they too, they will feel they are, because deeper life in church, they will tell you understanding, that you have understanding. What, bro? What kind of understanding are you telling? You know, understanding. You have understanding. You need to understand, bro. What do I need to understand? What does this understanding get me? I want to know, because now
you understand. Explain it.
You get it means he has a clarity that he thinks he has.
Yeah,
that understanding that he wants to sell.
He has it.
Yeah, that understanding he wants to sell to me. Yes. I've not understood it. I'm not I'm trying, because that's what I was talking. I was talking to another my friend, very deep church girl. I think all my female friends are quite religious. Most of them.
I think you should interview one of them next.
Because I had one of our conversations, because we I was trying to talk about, because when I finished, and I even brought up another issue of the pastors, which I mean we'll put that later. I was trying to tell her about my own, what brought me to this, what was I talking about that brought me to this, talk about
understanding.
Yeah, understanding.
Understanding. You couldn't understand.
Yes. So because she would tell me that God is the reason for life, that girl, she would tell me that this is the glaring truth. She used that word, glaring.
And it wasn't really glaring to
you. Okay, yeah, I see something I'm not seeing. And I thought, okay, the thing is,
it is glaring to you.
No, I now brought up something, because I go to church. I still go to church.
Yeah.
So I will see all these people. They rejoice. They're so happy. There's a spirit I was like, what am I not feeling? Why are you feeling this?
Are you, what's the word? Are you spiteful when you go to church and you think you see bullshit?
I think they're trying to sell me something. That's the pastor tries to sell me something. Most times,
does that make you spiteful?
Spiteful as in I feel
I feel upset.
Yeah, I feel upset that this guy's trying to sell me something. Most times I go to they are trying to set me up. The preaching is trying to set me up to feel remorse, so that I could give more on that Sunday.
That is why I stopped going to the mosque.
Because
mine is entirely different. Mine was, I think, on my birthday in 2015. I went to the mosque, and after we prayed, so I love going to the mosque because there's this wonderful sense of calm.
Yeah. I do that too.
And it's the best very best thing in the world. If for anything I wanted to be religious, that would be what I would want to be religious for. And that fateful day, I go to the mosque, and after we had our Juma, I was in that peaceful state. Then the Imam goes on and starts saying, if you're a Muslim and you vote for Goodluck Jonathan, you're going to go to hell.
Wow.
That everybody should vote for Buhari.
Wow. Now imagine the kind of mass mindset change that's happening all over the mosques in Nigeria.
So that is definitely propaganda.
Yes.
They came out to push that propaganda. And he clearly stated that if you are voting for someone who is not a Muslim, I guess, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And it didn't make sense to me. I think that was the day I left, and I didn't go back. And people will argue that because of one wrongdoing, you shouldn't focus the entire religion. But in the end, that's what they use it to do. The same way they use the news media to push propaganda is the same way they use the religious institutions to push propaganda. And that's what I can't, that's the one thing I can't stand. I completely hate it. Just leave me alone. Let me pray. Let me enjoy my peace. And let me go. Let me speak to my God. And let me go.
I like, when I was growing up, I think I liked just being on my own, talking. I felt like there was this sense of, God was this person I felt like a dad I could talk to, sit down, talk. I feel like I've had a conversation. I feel good. Yeah. I feel heard. Then I just chill. Like, don't tell me any stupid prophecy. Don't tell me this that God promised me and this and I did not see it. I will not see what you promised me. I become angry. Just like, I want to commune, just talk, have a conversation. I felt that I loved that. Yeah. Yes, I had that kind of just talk. That's why I go to this church in SH. So, just this feeling of calmness where you feel like you are communing or something.
It's beautiful. And I think maybe we should stop here. So for your next podcast, you should interview a religious, like a serious religious person. Yeah. And you should listen before you try to argue.
Yeah.
Maybe to change your mind. Maybe to change my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe to help your brother.
Yes.
This was wonderful.
It was really nice. I mean,
we've done 2 hours.
We've marked 2 hours, 30 minutes.
Oh, shit.
I think this is my longest. I think my record was 1 hour 25.
So let's keep on breaking records.
Anyway, it's just because I feel because we're in the same room.
Yes.
Most of the comments, we could have gone on and on debating philosophical circles.
So whatever, if someone comes and beats my record, I'm going to come back for your podcast and I'm going to talk for a long time.
This was great, man.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yo, thanks for listening to the end, and also don't forget to ask me any questions anonymously. Send me messages anonymously on hinternew.com/ask. I'll see you next week for my AMA episode, and until then, stay curious.